What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live. This is the Barton Insurance Group post-game show. The Titans officially lose their sixth consecutive game. The final score 27-13. Dallas Cowboys win at Nissan Stadium with a crowd that was very heavy. Dallas Cowboys, but it doesn't feel as bad as the previous 5 losses in this losing streak. It felt we knew this game didn't mean anything when it came down to the playoff situation for the Tennessee Titans. But Josh Dobbs with his first start at quarterback for the Titans and a depleted roster with a bunch of big-time players resting before the win and in Week 18 matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Austin Stanley. That's Zach Bingham here, A to Z Sports, broadcasting live on this Barton Insurance Group post-game show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Barton Insurance Group, they are Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal, home, and auto coverage, plus small to mid-sized businesses. Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com. Also, thanks to our other Titan Game Day Live sponsors, Mr. Goodroof. Go to MrGoodroof.com for a free estimate on your home and on your roof. Buddy Allen Carpet One, free estimates on your flooring needs, and Crumble Cookies in the BetMGM app. Zach, what do you think there?
Well, I think the tone was set in the second half with the devastating 51-yard penalty, right? Like the flipping of the field gave the Cowboys momentum. And then, the Titans just didn't have the firepower in the second half, but we knew that. They're decimated with injury. I did think that Josh Dobbs gave them a better spark than Malik Willis would have. So maybe cap off to the coaching staff to say that. It's still, is frowned upon because he's, your third round pick, and Malik Willis, you kind of at one point during the season or even in the preseason, you thought he could be the quarterback of the future. But Josh Dobbs on short term, right, on 8 days, comes in there and gives an offense that had zero spark and lost to the worst team in the NFL in the Houston Texans, comes up and, it's 13 points. So I don't want to sit here and overanalyze it, but it did look improved a little bit from what we saw like a week ago offensively, but they just, they can't compete with this roster. Right? With this current roster, December 29th on a Thursday night, with what we found out before this game, they lose 27-13. As you said, they've lost 6 games in a row. Yeah. And now they've just kind of sacrificed themselves for Week 18 against Jacksonville in a 1-game playoff to kind of start their playoff season a little bit early down in Duval County.
Yeah, and you mentioned they don't have the roster on December 29th. They couldn't even dress out 48 guys for the game. They chose to not dress out the full allotment of players for tonight's game. And, I feel like Andrew Adams, the report from Jordan Schultz that he tore his patella on that last touchdown by Dallas there. So he is going to be done for the foreseeable future. So more injuries happen for the Titans throughout the game. But you have to appreciate the effort by the guys that were out there. The Titans defense, I thought, for most of the night, played really strong football. Yeah, they gave up a lot of penalty yards, and Roger McCreary himself probably had, I guess Trey Avery had the one big one, but Roger McCreary had a couple of other penalties, but a lot of penalty yards on defensive pass interference, some crucial holding penalties on the defense as well that allowed the Cowboys to extend some drive and get some points there. And then, to be honest, the referees were bad tonight too, because the Titans got screwed out of what should have been some calls to go their way. And, did it decide the game? No, but I do think the referees missing the pass interference on Treylon Burks in the fourth quarter, it allowed the game to be decided a lot earlier than it could have been, because maybe the Titans go down there and score points and make it a 1-score game again, because that would have been first down inside the 15-yard line where Burks was interfered with. And even Terry McCauley, who is, a questionable rules analyst when it comes to officiating, pointed out several times where there were missed calls on the Titans, and including the Dobbs, what should have been roughing the passer earlier, where Dak got a weak call too. So that was an aspect of this game. But the Titans still, when you have a depleted roster and you have a couple rough calls that don't go your way, and you deservedly have over 120 penalty yards yourself, you're not going to win those football games. But they gave it a great shot. This defense, I think Titans fans should be excited and proud about how this defense is playing, and it'll set up for an interesting game next Sunday or 2 Sundays from now in Jacksonville.
And Austin, I'll say this. The Titans waved the white flag on paper prior to the game, but once the game started, they fought like a Mike Vrabel team would fight, right?
Yep.
They didn't have the talent out there, and they haven't had the talent out there all year. So if you want to sit there and say that, but they really didn't have the talent compared to what the Dallas Cowboys were working with. They just, the Cowboys just didn't have Tony Pollard. They had everybody else. Michael Parsons was out there with a club on his hand. They still had DeMarcus Lawrence. They still had Diggs, who could have had a pick six in the first half. Dak, CD, Ezekiel, the list goes on and on and on and on. They had an offensive line. The Titans don't have an offensive line. And so they kept it, somewhat close. I don't want to say that, but it's just unfortunate to get into these circumstances this late in the year. It's a meaningless game for the Tennessee Titans. We knew that before the ball was snapped to start the game. And they've just got to kind of maneuver through the next couple of days, put Derrick Henry, their best football player, out there. And maybe with Dobbs and Henry and a new look and outlook on this offense, maybe you got a better shot to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we've got reaction tomorrow and we've got a full week of shows leading up next week to break down. But yeah, I'm intrigued. Sign me up. I want to watch and see what Josh Dobbs and Derrick Henry look like together. That should be interesting.
Titans wide receivers didn't help Josh Dobbs that much.
No, and there were a lot.
Imagine if Titans wide receivers helped their quarterback.
Oh, and I thought about this at one point during the game, that tonight you saw wide receivers dropping passes the same way you saw wide receivers dropping passes from Malik Willis in Kansas City on Sunday night a month and a half ago. And, Burks made more plays late. He did drop a key third down early in the third quarter. Robert Woods, 5 catches, 39 yards, 1 touchdown on 9 targets. His 4 incomplete passes were really bad. Like he fell down once, he dropped a couple of them.
The only way he was going to make up for that first half is to catch 2 touchdown passes, and he didn't do that.
No, and so, Robert Woods, Traylon Burks, those guys got to be more consistent. The thing that confused me is what happened with Chig. Where did Chig go? He had 2 catches in the first 5 plays, and then he had another catch on the following drive for the Titans, and then he didn't have another target for the rest of the game.
I agree with this. The play calling was different. Now, I do also agree with you, Austin, is that the play calling could be different, and it was in the first half. Then Chig disappeared. That's the problem with Todd effing Downing. He's just the consistency of what he needs to be within this offense. A lot of things have to go right in this game for the Titans to win, right? So we didn't expect that. But I think that's what Titans fans are looking for, is the consistency to put no matter who is on the field in a better position to win, to get your playmakers, whatever you want to call them, the football more often. And, your playmakers, whether they're Robert Woods or Traylon Burks or Chigakonkwo, they have got to help your offense as well. And so that's, I think, the lack of consistency that has happened all year. But maybe they can put it together, for one last game to backdoor their way into the playoffs. And look, that's, as you kind of preface, it's a whole nother conversation on if the Titans need or want to win that final game based on the state of their organization. But tonight they fought with what they had, and they lost by 14 points.
They lost by 14.
And they got, 3 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah.
It should have been like 38 to 16. That should have been probably the discrepancy, but they kept it to where it is. And I think I'm with you on some of the play calls. I don't think it was going to matter on the win or loss, but the refs needed to be better in the second half. And the Titans calls didn't necessarily go their way.
Yeah, and for the one guy who told me to shut up because the refs didn't decide the game, I agree, Zach.
Yeah.
The refs did not decide the game, but the refs not making a couple calls that should have gone the Titans' way decided the game sooner than it would have, because I would have loved to see if the Titans had the ball on, first and 10 on the 15-yard line, down by 11 points to score a touchdown to make it 24-20. What would that look like? Because the Titans defense, I think, did a pretty good job overall. So A to Z Sports here live on our Barton Insurance Group post-game show, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Glad to have everybody along here. So, Zach, let's go ahead and ask this question. What is one word to describe how you feel about the Titans' loss tonight to the Dallas Cowboys? What is one word to describe how you feel about the Titans' loss tonight to the Dallas Cowboys behind Josh Dobbs, and the final score being 27-13? But first, tell us all about our great sponsors, the Barton Insurance Group.
Yeah, Barton Insurance Group, trusted by me personally, Erie Insurance. They've hooked me up for years now for my home and auto, but also A to Z Sports, us as a business. Barton Insurance Group, Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal home and auto, like myself, and small to mid-sized businesses like A to Z Sports. Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com, 615-805-1265. Unlike most insurance agencies, Barton Insurance Group, 100% locally owned. They're independent. And the best part is they partner with over a dozen insurance companies to help you. Like I said, Erie Insurance is my provider. They help me with my home and auto and hook me up with a great rate. And they allow you to get the best of both worlds when they bring that to the table. For our business, and we've been with Barton for years, they've helped us. You can pick up the phone and call literally tomorrow morning if you want to switch your insurance. 615-806-1265. They will help you, and they're locally owned. So you call them, you call that phone number, ask for Brian or ask for Adam, and they will take care of you. That's the Barton Insurance Group, Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com.
All right, so what's one word to describe how you felt about the Titans' loss to the Cowboys? The final score 27-13 here live on the Barton Insurance Group post-game show. I'm going to go to the chat now. Albert says hopeful. Astro on YouTube says penalties. Sweaty Fish, interesting name, says optimistic. Howling Wolf says expected. Jonathan says proud. TJ says avoidable. Jonah just says losers. 6 consecutive loss. Kai says expected. Big time Timmy Tay says content. Continuity coming in from Jacole Chandler there. DeMario says hopeful. Expected from Xavier. Good from Rock. Meh from Dennis. Bradley says good. Expected coming in here from the online romance. Levi says hopeful. Optimistic from Nate. Some more hopefuls coming in. Inevitable from Pastor Raymond. Zach, what is your one word here on this post-game show?
So I don't want to just completely drive by the fact of the Tennessee Titans have lost 6 straight games and their season is going down the toilet. I want to preface my word by saying that cannot be ignored. All of the things that have happened, whether they're injury, whether they're moves today, whether it's not starting Malik Willis, which looked to be the correct decision, but still the Titans lost and only put up 13 points. The Titans are going to go through the entire year without scoring 30 points in a game. And in 2022, that ain't going to cut it. That's not how you win games in the NFL. Not enough to actually compete for the big trophy. My one word, though, for the loss and what they better. Like better. So take into account everything that I just said, better. Better than their loss to the Texans. better than their blowout loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars at home with Ryan Tannehill, better than their blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, better than their second half performance against the Bengals way back when. Like, a part of this losing streak, I thought Josh Dobbs, with what they had, actually, they were better. And what it does, it gives and should give Titans fans a little glimmer. There's another word, but a glimmer of hope that maybe with Derrick Henry and Jeffrey Simmons and some pieces that are added back next week, that they can compete in Jacksonville in a one-game playoff to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and Caleb says, how about this one word? Bingo! Hey, we hit ourselves a bingo finally with Titan Bingo, wrapping up with that Josh Dobbs passing touchdown. We had to do some little alterations there for that because of all the injuries the Titans have had. But Zach, my one word, it kind of goes along with what you're saying. Intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Very intrigued in what the Titans can put together with Josh Dobbs and the guys who sat out tonight that should, for the most part, be back Sunday in Jacksonville in a couple weeks, right? Like, this list of inactives tonight, Derrick Henry was obviously resting. He could have played. Amani Hooker, I think, can play and probably will play, especially with Andrew Adams having a torn patella that the reports are coming in that he might be, if he does have a torn patella, he's out. Dylan Cole, I think, will come back, even though Dr. Gibby's been playing some good football. NPF is better than LaRaven Clark, Danico Autry, and Jeffrey Simmons. Those last two guys are very interesting too, because if you're going to try to get after Trevor Lawrence, then you're going to have Nico and Jeff back for that. But, I feel like,
plus Christian Fulton, plus the possibility David Long Jr. still can return, right?
Yeah, and Christian Fulton, I guess he was technically doubtful for this, but I really don't know or trust that he's going to be back, but they could use him too. But again, that's a legitimate list of guys that you can have back, including your bell cow in Derrick Henry, where if Burks starts making plays, you get some other guys involved. You've got Josh Dobbs and Henry with the new wrinkles they showed on offense to move Dobbs around. Where in the hell has that been all season long? The first play from scrimmage for the Titans, a quick zone read, move Dobbs to the right and hit Chig on the run for a first down. We've been calling for that since Arthur Smith took the Falcons head job and Todd Downing hadn't done it. But I think they put some good stuff on tape, and I want to see what Josh Dobbs can do with another 8 days of work.
Well, and two things. Thomas is right. No discipline, no technique. They have got to improve their defensive discipline in the secondary and technique to prevent those type of penalties. I know it was an uphill battle who they're facing, but I do want to, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I do want to somewhat compliment what Todd Downing did with Joshua Dobbs tonight by, I think, analyzing his game in a very short amount of time. Malik Willis can't roll out on naked boots and throw back against his body because his footwork is so bad. He'd put himself in a bad position, or he'd just run and get crushed. I felt like Josh Dobbs, that was the type of quarterback that we saw at Tennessee, where he could move around, set his feet. And look, at Tennessee, talking about the Volunteers, his offensive line was really bad when he was playing for the Vols. But he was so maybe he was comfortable tonight because he went back to his college days. But they put him in a position for the way Josh Dobbs plays. So now, with Derrick Henry coming back with that X factor, can Josh Dobbs continue to play the way that we saw tonight with a game wrecker in the backfield?
Zach, I usually don't do this. I'm handing out the love of the show tonight. Orlando on Facebook. It took a rocket scientist to get Downing to run an offense. I mean, that's because that's the thing, is like, you gave credit
the third down sack fumble in the third quarter, or in the first half, that was inexcusable. I literally said out loud, just run the ball. Like, just take the points because you're just trying to get 3 points. You're not trying to compete to win. You're just trying to compete for a longer period of time. It's kind of what you said based on the Traylon Burks lack of pass interference. But Todd Downing didn't think about that in the first half.
Well,
he was trying to get cute and tried to throw the football, and it cost him 3 points. You cannot, as an offensive coordinator, cost yourself 3 points, and he's done that time and time again over the last several games.
Yes, absolutely. It's driving me insane this entire season. Did you see what he did, though, later in the game? 3rd and 7 from the Cowboys 31. Hassan Haskins 5-yard carry. Set up
probably because Vrabel chewed his ass out.
I know.
I would have been livid with cuss words. Good thing I'm not a coach because I wouldn't have a voice and I'd be dog cussing Downing all year. I would have fired his ass
does that
already.
Anyway. About every third word is a 4-letter word out of Mike Vrabel's mouth.
Well, and then he should have said, "What the F are you doing in the first half to get Josh Dobbs sacked on a 3rd and long in kicking range when you run the ball for 3 or 2 or 1 or no gain? It doesn't really matter. You QB sneak it for a gain of 1. You're still going to kick a field goal, but they didn't do that. And because they're not thinking about the approach, I don't think, to the game. But yes, he did. There was a correction. But yeah, it's too late. It's after week 17, bro.
Yes. He corrected it after the 8th time he messed it up. Like, that's, again, too little, too late. So all the things that I feel like you're playing the role of me tonight with your Todd Downing frustration and everything you just said, I co-sign with that. But too little, too late for Todd Downing to get too much credit for what happened tonight. It still didn't end up being enough points. I want to see them break through and to score more consistently and to not do these dumb things. And Dennis Daley, why does he still have a job? Not that Dennis Daley just has a job, but Dennis Daley has a starting job in the NFL because he continues to also ruin opportunities by having 2 false starts, both of them on 4th down attempts, where the first one had to force the Titan to punt, and then the second one made it 4th and 15. It's just inexcusable to have Dennis Daley continue to hurt your football team like that.
Awesome. I ask you this before we grade Dobbs, which I think is going to be a good segment because the grade's going to be a lot different than what we thought the grade was going to be before the game started. And I don't want to, after 6 straight losses, but after this loss, do you feel better about the Titans going into Jacksonville week 18?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you have to. I think that we got a little bit of a surprise tonight, and it was a pleasant surprise. Doesn't mean they're going to beat Trevor Lawrence. And look, the Jags are red hot. That's something that you don't hear every day, but that's what they are. And the Jags play the Texans this week. They're probably going to continue that streak, and they are going to be one of the hottest teams in the NFL going into a pivotal game to try to submit their division. I mean, this is the Jags' first divisional win or, AFC South Championship since 2017 when they had the AFC Championship run.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how long ago before that.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Say it one more time so I can think about it.
When was the last time before 2017 the Jags won the AFC South?
Gotta go back to like David Garrard days. I feel like
they hosted a playoff game against the Bills.
Oh, no, that was the year. That was 2017 because Tyrod Taylor played in Jacksonville, and that was when they went to the AFC Championship.
Okay, so yeah, it's David Garrard.
Yeah, you have to go back that way.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, Titans need to prevent this history. Or do they?
Yeah. Trevor says, why are we talking? These are third-string players. The Titans have done good to even be in the game. Really, Austin and Zach Dobbs did great, and Vrabel coached his ass off. Never expected to win. No, I agree. Like, Trevor, I think Zach and I agree with what you're saying there, is that the defense played with a ton of effort and, a lot of just attacking the football, and they did – some really good things to put the Cowboys in a tough spot. But then, yeah, the lack of talent overcame, and that was tough. They couldn't overcome it with penalties and everything. And then the offense just couldn't finish and sustain drives for long enough. But yeah, I think Mike Vrabel did a good job. I think the majority of the Titans players did a good job in this game tonight, considering the circumstances. So, I think, Zach, you would agree with that overall.
Yes, I would. And to note, because I went and looked it up, the actual time that the Jacksonville Jaguars won the division championship as AFC South is 2017 and 2007.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. They haven't. The Colts won in 2007. They've only won one divisional title. You can't let the Jags win their second divisional title in Week 18.
That's I guess the Mark
South.
Yeah, because it was the Central.
Yeah,
Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor and those guys were
Central
winning.
titles don't count the South titles.
That's right. That's right. That is insane.
That just I knew something was off. I was like, there's because I can't remember in recent history, because there hasn't been recent history. They've only won one divisional title in their South, AFC
South, yeah,
in their franchise history.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
The Titans have won 4.
Yeah, it's going to be really, again, my one word, intrigued in what next week will look like with Josh Dobbs. A nugget that I did want to say, because our own Sam Phelan did tweet this out in talking to Josh Dobbs in the press conference, that Josh Dobbs says he first got a hint that he could start tonight on Christmas Eve when he got a call while driving home from the loss to the Texans game. And if you watched the broadcast, you heard Al Michaels attempt to tell a story about Josh Dobbs' parents trying to get that car to freaking Nashville several times. But so again, that kind of tells you the Titans wanted this to happen and were planning for this to happen for several days to get Josh Dobbs an opportunity that, that they did not like what they saw with Malik Willis and did not expect Malik Willis to improve that much before having to play tonight.
Yeah, well, and after Malik Willis loses to the worst team in the NFL in the Houston Texans, I think that taste in your mouth, they didn't want to taste that again. And that's a problem overall when you draft a rookie quarterback. Again, 8 months with this guy and you don't trust him, that's a massive red flag.
I do say this, though. Both guys threw pretty much game-altering interceptions in the fourth quarter, the last 2 weeks, right? Like Malik, bad pick against the Texans. Dobbs, bad pick tonight against the Cowboys, both in the fourth quarter. That's bad. Like both of them had those mistakes, but Dobbs was able to put together a lot more production when it comes to yards, converting third downs with his arm, and being able to push the ball down the field. They had 3 pass plays over 30 yards tonight. And though a lot of that was with down the field, right? Pushing the ball down the field in the air.
Well, let's grade Josh Dobbs.
Let's do it officially. Grading Josh Dobbs here live on our Barton Insurance Group post-game show. A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live, broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All of our quarterback grades, whether it's Tannehill, Malik Willis, and now Josh Dobbs, in the postgame show, brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Download the Crumble Cookie app, and you'll make sure you get a victory whenever you're looking to find and solve that sweet tooth. Because Crumble Cookies has a rotating menu of over 175 flavors that change out every week, and they're made fresh every day. So customers, you can walk in there to the open concept kitchen to the Crumble Cookies near you, order it for in-store, for takeout. They deliver right to you, curbside pickup, nationwide shipping. You're always close to a Crumble Cookies because of that nationwide shipping. Crumble Cookies is phenomenal. I had some over the Christmas weekend. And so you should always remember to get a Crumble Cookie gift card for your friends, your family, whoever needs that extra gift. They'll appreciate it You got any New Year's Eve parties you're going to? Crumble Cookies would be a victory there too. So make sure you download the Crumble Cookie app today and grading Josh Dobbs' performance via Crumble Cookies tonight. Zach, his box score read 20 of 39, 232, 1 touchdown pass, 1 pick, sacked twice, fumbled once, and then he had 3 carries for 12 yards, all fairly early. Zach, what are you seeing in the chat from grading Josh Dobbs' performance tonight?
SCP goes B-, Andrew goes C+, Allen with a B, Mr. Jones B+, Cloudhouse goes B, Zook goes B, C+/- from Jared. Jamie says B+, Bill goes A, Clubber with a C, Dobbs is a B+ tonight from Jonathan. Michael also says B+. A few B's coming in from Michael, Dylon, Nick. Travis goes B+, Allen B-, Seltz with a C+, C- from Sam. Howling Wolf goes C. Deshaun Washington goes B-, Jacob B-, Stephen B, Joey B+, Wheeze B, Nate B, C- from Raz. Wax goes B. So a ton of comments. And look, we got a lot of people in here, which we appreciate. I think this is in between the B and the C range when it comes to the chat and what they think. And then, Adam brings some lunch money and says, the Jags traded Dobbs to Pittsburgh for a 5th-round pick last year. And I remember that transaction. Yeah. He says Dobbs is a bum, perfect for Trashville.
Yeah,
I think
Adam's tossed us some money a couple times just to talk trash. I think Adam's a Jags fan that's just found his way to spend his Thursday night talking to us.
Well, if you want to pay, you can do whatever you want. I don't really give a damn, right? But Adam actually, all right, Adam, I don't know what Adam's profession is, but let's throw you into a harsh environment 8 days and into a new company and expect you to perform at an all-time level. Did Josh Dobbs have an A performance tonight? Absolutely not. I don't think I read an A. Did I? No.
Grim Jim said A-. Right there.
And Grim Jim's wrong. So, that's just cold hard facts. Nothing against Grim Jim. He watches the show. But that's not correct. Austin, how do you grade Josh Dobbs with everything taken into account, right? 8 days, preparation, being on the Detroit Lions practice squad, Thursday night football, a home game, an environment full of Cowboy fans at Nissan Stadium, like all of these things. How do you grade Josh Dobbs tonight?
I give him a B-. The turnovers were bad. He fumbled twice, only lost 1. He made some nice throws. I felt like he left some out there, but again, understanding the tough circumstance he was because a bad offensive line decimated by injury and no Derrick Henry playing with Hassan Haskins, who made his first start as his main running back. I say B-. He still missed some open throws. The turnovers were bad. Like I mentioned, you can't fumble the football ever when you're getting sacked like that. He did it twice. And so I give him a B- for what he showed tonight, which I think is a good thing if you're the Titans, because now you can only build on it moving forward against the Jags, whose defense is not as good as what the Cowboys is.
So I was going to give him a C+, but on 8 days, and here is my X factor of bumping my grade up to agree with you, Austin. I think B- is correct because his wide receivers didn't help him in the first half. And even Traylon Burks on a crucial 3rd down dropped a ball that you get paid money to make that catch. That's a B- performance. I think it's probably like a C+ performance or a C performance, but given the circumstance, that's why Adam, he's given it a D for disaster. It should be D for delusional because he doesn't understand the circumstance on what it is. It would be like, Adam, look, hey, bud, we need somebody to go weld a building. Can you go in there and do it like on short days notice? No, you can't. You don't know how to weld. Adam, I do not think you know how to weld. But throwing you in that circumstance and then you somewhat doing an adequate job, or your company or environment not giving you the right pieces, like the wide receivers dropping footballs or the offensive line being scotch taped together, like that's a tough situation. And plus, here's the other sprinkle. You got a crap ass offensive coordinator calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just facts. So Zachary comes in and almost gives some jackpot dollars, but gets some lunch money and says B+ easy. Let's be real. Woods, Hooper, and Burks drop passes, as I said, hurting his numbers and the team overall. It is telling the guys who are likely getting cut got moved over to IR, or am I overthinking? No, is it telling the guys who are likely getting cut got moved over to IR?
Well, let's take that in two parts here, Zachary. So yes, how different would the game have been if Robert Woods catches the ball that hits him, right in the hands on third down early in that game? That's a 25-yard completion with some potential yak and then a new set of downs. Burks dropped the first third down after the second half began. That would have been a 20+ yard completion.
Momentum.
Yeah, and then you're trying to go take the lead. And at that point,
and shell shocked the Cowboys at one period of time, but instead the momentum swung back because Cowboys got the football back, got a 51-yard penalty on the literally Hail Mary to Gallup, up, flag, pass interference, one play later, Dalton Schultz touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a big deal, man. Like if Treylon Burks would have caught that pass, you don't really know what's going to happen because the Titans answered after the Cowboys scored. That's what made it 17-13.
Well, no, Titans get in field goal range, and then Downing calls a 5-step drop back, and then they're out and they punt.
Right. Yeah. But that's the throw from Dobbs was slightly behind him, but Burks still has to catch that football.
It was.
Yeah.
He's a first-round draft pick.
Exactly. Catch the football. Catch the damn ball. And Robert Woods, why he can't.
I told you that. He should have caught it.
Sure. Absolutely. So, those are big swings. That's literally those two drops are 50-ish yards passing for Josh Dobbs in a spot where you don't know how
300 now.
Yeah, he's over. That's 280 right there with those two big drops and then new sets of downs. Because those were both on third downs that led to punts.
And that's what Malik Willis could not have passed for 200 and what did he have?
30.
200. Malik Willis couldn't have done that.
Right.
Surly says, and here's an honest question. He says he understands why Dobbs we're grading him, but he poses the question you asked earlier is why is Dennis Daley playing? I think that's all they have.
Right. It's
who else are you going to play?
But why haven't they done something about this for the last 2 months? Zach, they've been able, and I think it was Paul Kaharski a month or so ago. There was a line of questioning to Mike Vrabel about, hey, you have churned the roster and signed 12 defensive backs over the last 8 weeks, but Dennis Daley is still the left tackle. So they're willing to sign Lonnie Johnson, Josh Kalu, Andrew Adams, who else? Trey Avery back, Greg Maben back. They're willing to do that. But Ugo Amadi was in there and gone. Like they're willing to do all that stuff, but Dennis Daley's still playing left tackle. Malik Willis got benched before Dennis Daley got benched. In what world is that right? And seriously, in what world is it correct that Malik Willis got benched before Dennis Daley? Dennis Daley is being graded out as the worst left tackle to play in the NFL since the turn of the century. That's not an exaggeration. That's true. The pressure rate that he is allowing is twice the league average. He's given up
at a very important position.
Yes. Why? Why can you fire other players and go replace them. But Dennis Daley continues to get to walk out there and jump false start twice a game in bad spots. Remember, he ruined an opportunity to score a touchdown against the Eagles to make it a 14-10 game with a false start. And then he allowed a sack. Ryan Tannehill got hurt because of a blitz coming off of Dennis Daley's ass. Why does Dennis Daley not get fired from his job when everybody else on the roster, besides those select few that we know,
Todd Downing,
it doesn't make any sense.
Well, no coaching changes. Well, hey, we're not making coaching changes this time.
But
No. Excuse me. Let me rephrase this. I got to have a different tone. I have Vrabel's tone. We're not making coaching changes. All right. Hey, Austin, we're not changing the left.
Another Twitter question. You said in a recent press conference that you're open to the idea of things that need to be made in terms to improve the team. So where are you currently in the idea of organization changes, coaching changes?
We're not going to make any coaching changes during the season.
So Mike Vrabel said in a press conference he's willing to do anything he can do to help this football team, except two things: fire Todd Downing and fire Dennis Daley. Those two guys, keep on working, guys.
I don't think he has anybody to replace him with.
No, like currently, yeah. But why couldn't they have found somebody else the last 2 months? Dennis Daley's been starting since September 18th.
Oh, I know.
That was week 2, Monday Night Football, September 19th, excuse me. September 19th, Dennis Daley went out there for Taylor Lewan, and he hadn't left.
Lewan's at the Barstool Bowl.
I don't care where Lewan is.
He's not even watching the game. He's out promoting his next career.
And being shown in a wheelchair on an Amazon Prime broadcast.
Which I do. That
was weird.
What?
That Amazon Prime put Taylor Lewan in a wheelchair.
Oh, they do crazy stuff like that. I didn't think that. That's Amazon. You should see what they were doing for Monday Night Football, right? Like they come up with these crazy caricatures, So that wasn't surprised that I actually kind of laughed.
I mean, it was hilarious. It was just kind of weird though. But again, like, why is Dennis Daley not threatened to lose his job? And Charles Bourne says, I'm thinking y'all both should turn in 30K word offseason dissertations on who you should target in free agents of the draft. What the hell are you on? Like, what do you think Zach and I are going to do 30? Are you going to do a 30,000 word offseason dissertation on free agency in the draft, Charles?
We're going to do that, Austin. What are you talking about?
We're going to do it verbally.
Yeah.
I'll talk 30,000 words.
We literally will do that, Charles. That's, I think, the best part. I don't take offense to that whatsoever. We are going to execute your request. 30,000 words. I'll raise you another 30K. I mean, I'll get 60,000 as far as a dissertation, but we're verbal. We're verbal communicators. We don't do written word. We don't write cursive, Charles. That's in the Stone Age. We're live streaming, baby. And so we got dissertation after dissertation come. Well, and you hope that it doesn't come a week from Monday, because that may be when the offseason starts. I do want to get to some lunch money real quick.
Okay.
Sam on Sam. Sam's giving Sam lunch money. So off season, I got a feeling, again, it may come sooner rather than later. We'll have to take everybody out there. And Adam says, I've played Madden for 3 decades. I could do it. See, Adam just proving the point that we are already have. And now Bryce giving lunch money saying, Adam better hope they win next week or he'll be the love of the show. If he is a Jags fan, Adam, don't be like our boy Hibachi. Hibachi was a Colts fan, and Alakazam, he's disappeared. We hadn't seen Hibachi. Hibachi is making stir fry on the Hibachi grill. We hadn't seen him. So Adam, come back here. Look, whether win, lose, or draw, and actually a draw may hurt the chances. I don't know what the tiebreak is, but the Jags, we're going to talk about it. We do this show every morning at 8 a.m. We're going to be doing a pregame, halftime, postgame show around the Jags game too.
Yeah. All right. Another comment. Jared says 2 reasons why the Titans will win next week. All the players back, more healthy and rested. and game is on the road and they're a way better team than the home team, but then lose the playoff game at home. So Jared thinks the Titans will win and beat the Jags and then lose at home. So that's something we'll talk about a lot, over the next week or so.
And you talk about the roster turnover. Connor brings in and says the Dr. Gibby signing, it was a great story. I'm right. I mean, I felt like he's played, his tail off when he's gotten the opportunity.
Yeah, he's been solid. And, you get Dylan Cole back. If you get David Long Jr. back to go along with Gibby, I think that's pretty, you can be excited about your trio of inside linebackers against the Jags, because you have to have David Long Jr. back because nobody else on this defense can guard Evan Ingram, who apparently is a Pro Bowler all of a sudden over the last month.
Man, we're going to be eating good with all Adam's money. So
it's fine with me.
And here's one before we go. And look, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get some rest and wake up early and, blink twice, get up at 8 a.m. Let's see if I can find it. I was asked, there's been so many comments, which we appreciate, but I was asked, do I still want the Titans to get flexed into the Sunday night game? Oh, here it is. Zach, thoughts on the flex prime schedule? Would you like to see it flexed? That's a no, Ghost Rider. I do not want to see another primetime game, whether it's for all the marbles. I got to start after this weekend. Well, I guess we'll all find out, but we really need to diagnose the win and get in matchups that could be competing for that Sunday night primetime slot.
Well, we might have to do that tomorrow, honestly, because, by the time we come back around on Monday, a lot of that will be settled and we'll know that. So we might have to do some homework tonight before that happens. But I think, going back to tonight, better. Your word was better. My word is intrigued. An impressive effort from the defense, an impressive effort from Josh Dobbs only being in the facility for 8 days. It could have been a lot better with some boneheaded mistakes with penalties on defense, drop passes and penalties on offense. Kevin Byard is a freaking stud. We haven't mentioned Kevin Byard's name in the postgame show yet because of, the result, but Kevin Byard was fantastic in the first half to allow the Titans to have a chance.
And to wrap this up, it does feel like, Austin, we're searching for moral victories after they lost 27-13.
But I think you understood, because of this, you understood what tonight was.
Yes. But as Vrabel always says, there are no moral victories. But it does seem like we're searching for moral victories.
Well, no, I mean, the title of the show is 6 straight loss for the Titans behind a valiant effort, because that's what it was. It's the 6th straight loss. You lead with that. But the effort was pretty good considering the circumstances.
No moral victories, though.
No, they lost. They lost the game. They are 7-9. If they win the South, they will have a losing record as a playoff team. That all those things are factual. So, look, we're going to get a quick night of sleep. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 Central Time doing the same thing on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll go be able to hear from Mike Vrabel, from Josh Dobbs, from other players in the locker room tonight. Sam Phelan and Buck Rising are working the Titans locker room and press conferences there at Nissan Stadium, and they'll have a lot of great content up on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram, on our Facebook, on Twitter, on everywhere, TikTok included. So go check out that post-game content. Appreciate all of you guys for hanging out and watching our post-game show presented by the Barton Insurance Group. Barton Insurance Group is Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal home and auto coverage, plus small to mid-sized businesses. Check them out, Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com. Appreciate Buddy Allen Carpet One giving you free in-home measures and estimates at Buddy Allen Carpet One Nashville.com. Mr. Goodroof, go to the website, MrGoodroof.com. Have a free estimate at your house. Then mention A to Z Sports for a $500 discount on a full roof replacement, but only if you need it. And then download the Crumble Cookie app to make sure you get the best cookies in town, wherever you're at. And then BetMGM, download the BetMGM app, use our code ATOZ Sports for a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first bet on pro football. Zach, any parting words before we head out of here?
Right now, the Tennessee Titans would select 12th overall in the NFL draft.
All right.
Just to think about, 12.
That could improve. You can take the word improve in whichever direction you would prefer.
Fair. They're in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 team tie with 7 wins. Now they have 9 losses. And the competition ahead of them, you've got 4 6-win teams. That's something we can kind of diagnose tomorrow.
Yeah.
Picking 12 overall. Just think about it.
That's right. Hey, Rob says it's already 8 a.m. here in Iraq. Well, hey, Rob, appreciate you watching us over in Iraq. Appreciate your service. I'm guessing that's probably what you're doing over in Iraq right now. But hey, we will see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Time. And Rob, I'm guessing it'll be, evening dinner time for you. But we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. Talk to you soon. Appreciate it as always.